Welcome to Northwest Favorites, the heart of Portland wrestling. I'm your host, Frank Culbertson, and this is a series spotlighting the wrestlers who lived right below the very top tier, the reliable main eventers, the semi-main event villains, the fiery baby faces, and the unforgettable personalities who helped define the Portland sports arena era. Every story you hear in the show comes directly from the Encyclopedia of Portland Wrestlers by historian Mike Rogers, available now on Amazon. And if you love Pacific Northwest wrestling, it is the essential record of the territory. Today, we look at three men whose careers took drastically different paths, but each left a deep imprint on Portland. Matt Borne, Tim Flowers, and Tom Pritchard. Matt Borne's entire wrestling journey is a story of immense talent, undeniable toughness, and a constant battle with personal demons. A career that always seemed one good break away from becoming something even bigger. The son of legendary Tough Tony Borne, Matt debuted in Portland on December 6, 1978, teaming with his father to beat Kurt Von Steiger and Ray Spannon. Portland protected him early, no harsh rookie treatment. And honestly, with his pedigree, amateur background, and natural swagger, Matt didn't enter the business timidly. He already knew the locker room, he already knew the ropes, and he was legitimately tough. After a full year in the Northwest, he left for Mid-Atlantic, teaming with Buzz Sawyer and winning the Mid-Atlantic tag titles. He returned to Portland in 1981 and immediately found himself in main events, feuding with Rip Oliver and Buddy Rose, a feud complicated by very real personal issues involving Rose's marriage to Borne's sister. Borne teamed with Steve Regal to win the Northwest tag titles and then stunned fans by turning heel, teaming with both Rose and Oliver. He briefly won the Northwest Heavyweight title on April 29, 1981, only to lose it one day later, back to Rose. Nobody is sure whether that was a mistake, a rib, or a storyline adjustment, but it was his only Northwest singles title. By 1982, Borne held the tag titles again, this time with Rip Oliver, before heading to Mid-South to join the infamous Rat Pack with Ted DiBiase and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. His momentum didn't last. He got fired in Georgia after an incident there, and when he returned to Portland in mid-1983, he was sent right back to the preliminaries. Historian Mike Rogers suspects Don Owen gave him a 6-month probation. Keep your nose clean, and your spot returns. And right on schedule, exactly 6 months later, Borne suddenly shot right back into the main events. Borne went through runs in the WWF, New Japan, Texas, WCW, and ultimately became Doink the Clown, a character purists hated, but one that finally put Matt high on the card and earning real money. When he was fired, WWE simply replaced him with someone else under the paint. Borne kept using the gimmick for the rest of his career. In 1992, after Don Owen shut down, Sandy Barr tried to keep Portland wrestling alive. Matt Borne became his booker, and he was good at it. So good that within months, they sold out a Christmas show in Vancouver. But his demons always followed. Matt Borne passed away in 2013 and was later featured in Dark Side of the Ring. A brilliant performer, a troubled life, and one of the most raw, intense personalities Portland ever saw. If you only saw Tim Flowers in Portland, you might assume he was just a mid-card heel with a strange kimono gimmick and very few wins. But that would be missing the bigger picture, because everywhere else, especially in Vancouver, Flowers was a major star. Tim arrived in Portland in 1985 as Diamond Timothy Flowers. The kimono, the attitude, the offbeat vibe, he didn't come off like a killer, and he wasn't treated like one. Portland slotted him as an underneath heel, despite Flowers being a 3-time America's heavyweight champion and twice America's tag champion in Los Angeles. His Portland highlights were limited: a feud with Ricky Vaughn after a real knee drop injury, a few wins, and steady mid-card work, but Flowers never complained. In a Ring Around the Northwest interview, he described Vaughn as a nice guy, just klutzy as hell. What Portland didn't capitalize on, Vancouver did. Flowers moved north and became a legend in all-star wrestling. He worked top of the cards, then became a promoter whose shows were known for intensity and great action. His cards featured names like Chris Jericho, Bad News Allen, Dr. Luther, Davey Richards, Moondog Moretti, and Buddy Wayne. He also promoted in Tacoma with strong success. Now, Tim could be salty, hot-tempered, and tightly wound, but he was respected. And when he wasn't running the show, he could be the funniest guy in the room. Flowers passed away in 2015. His Portland run wasn't his strongest, but his legacy in the Northwest absolutely was. Technical, smooth, underrated. That was Tom Pritchard during his Portland run, and those traits carried him into one of the most respected careers in wrestling. Pritchard arrived in the Northwest in January 1984 and looked good from the start. He beat Tia, Mike Miller, and Doug Summers right out of the gate. With his long hair, athletic look, and polished ring work, he clicked instantly with fans. He wasn't the top singles babyface. Portland had a stacked roster at that time, but he was a trusted worker. He held the Northwest Tag titles 3 times in 1984, twice with Brett Sawyer and once with Jerry Gray. And Portland recognized his reliability. When Ric Flair came to town, Pritchard got shots at the NWA World title. In his Ring Around the Northwest interview, Pritchard said, "I never asked why I got the shots at Flair. I was just happy to get them." That humility and consistency followed him throughout his career. He became WWF Tag Champions with Chris Candido as the Body Donnas, and later one of the best trainers in the world, helping develop stars like The Rock, Edge, Dolph Ziggler, Sean Morley, and many others. Tom Pritchard might not have headlined Portland, but he earned the trust of promoters, wrestlers, and fans, and that is the mark of a true Northwest favorite. 3 careers, 3 very different paths, but all 3 left a mark on the Northwest. Matt Borne, the gifted but troubled force of nature. Tim Flowers, the Vancouver legend whose Portland chapter was only part of the story. Tom Pritchard, the technician whose steady excellence carried him into championship gold and a world-class training career. They weren't the megastars. They were the wrestlers who made Portland wrestling feel like Portland wrestling. This has been episode 12 of Northwest Favorite, the heart of Portland wrestling, the fan favorites and fierce rivals who defined an era, based on the Encyclopedia of Portland Wrestlers by historian Mike Rogers, available now on Amazon. I'm your host, Frank Culbertson. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and join me every Friday as we continue honoring the names and stories that made the Northwest one of wrestling's most unforgettable territories.